I'm just going to wait just one moment to see if anybody else is bothering showing up, because then I can kind of go over the setup and what I'm intending to do. Yeah, I already like. So I found out. Let me just show you real quick that, and I'm keeping Scratch out of turn-based mode. So I found out that if you move him all the way to the edge of this platform here, you can keep him. Well, obviously you can. I could move him a little bit closer, but I don't dare. I don't dare to do that. But you can keep him out here, even outside. Sorry, of invisibility and in crouched position, and he'll be fine. So basically, like that kind of alleviates to me some of the stress about the whole turn-based situation that I already messed up on at least once. So that's a good thing. And then another thing that I found out by researching is that if I keep my coterie, like my pets, I have a skeleton more than last time because I have a different pact. So I have another skeleton, which is, I don't think it will help me. Maybe a zombie would have been better, but like, there's a skeleton, and I guess that's another meat shield. That's another thing that some of the creatures that runs around will attack. He does not get into the turn order because he will not be in combat. So that's now I need to make sure that I don't click anything accidentally here. Scratch will not be in the turn order. So what happens is that in turn 1 or probably turn 2, I am going to move, because there are two things, the two problems for me. The first problem is that Scratch has 15 hit points with his volatile shield, so that's not a lot. And so I need to be able to move him all the way to Dame Aylin and free her without him getting attacked. And one of the reasons why this is so good or so perfect, I think, is because I can keep him out of combat, and thus he will not be kind of impeded by movement speed or anything else. So when I decide to move him to Dame Aylin, he's going to be able to do so outside of combat, which I don't know. I don't find that to be buggy in any way. I don't mind that. I don't think it's a problem. I mean, I could like theoretically still have him in the same position with invisibility, do all of my pre-buffs, and do the same thing but with twice the stress, because with all of the pre-buff sequencing for this character is so important, I think. So I want to alleviate some of that stress by taking some of that stuff that has some kind of momentum or whatever, put into it and move that away. And so I've that's what I'm going to do. And the reason why I can manage with Scratch that far away is because obviously he's going to be outside of combat, meaning that when he enters combat is when he frees Aylin. That's the plan. The reason why he enters combat is because of the intellect devourers. So the intellect devourers patrolling back and forward, I need them in combat. So preferably I need them to beeline towards Myrkul. So I need them to either move to the central platform or move just down below where Ketheric is right now. Either way, so far away from Dame Aylin that they will not hurt Scratch. That's the first part. The second part is that I also do not want to free Aylin before the Mind Flayer is. I need the Mind Flayer to use its first turn, so that I need the Mind Flayer to go for a target other than Aylin, so he doesn't dominate her. And like, one of the problems, I guess, in the because I assure you guys that it's going to be over within 2 turns. If I fail this, if my plan fails, it's going to be. To me, it's going to be relatively obvious within the first 2 turns, with the plan that I have, and I'm going to stick with my plan. Anyway, so so I need the Mind Flayer to move either to the central platform, the same place as the Intellect of Ours. I want to get them as far away as possible. Right, they patrol at the moment the Intellect of Ours backwards and forwards. So, but I think it's going to be a little bit tricky to kind of time that. I guess I'm not going to attempt timing it. I'm just going to let them have a turn, and then I'm going to free their mail in turn 2. And the thing is that as far as the whole initiative thing goes, is something that I've been worrying a lot about, because with the plan that I have, I need to know that I get to go first. And I'm making sure by equipping the Sentinel Shield. So that does not give me critical immunity, but I will have the option to switch at a later time to another shield. But the initiative turn order is super critical, because both Myrkul and the Mind Flayer has a +1. So in theory, with 18 dexterity, I am going to have an initiative of +4, which in theory is hey Meriden. I don't think I'm going to attempt a surprise. I know that you can. There's a way to surprise them. I'm not going to surprise them. It's going to be like straight up combat. Ketheric talks to me. I talk Ketheric down, and I fight Myrkul. And outside of Wyll, nobody gets into combat in the beginning. So, but by winning the initiative turn order, I can then command my minions to join the fight. And that like there are disadvantages and advantages to this. Like I could move my creatures closer, and maybe they could get farther. But I don't like it. So I am going to bring them into combat. All of them. Once the turn order has been established, I'm going to bring in my creatures. And it's not a big issue whether or not they get to attack in the first round. What matters is that I get to position them. So for example, the Earth Elemental can use its Elemental Warp. So there's an option to move the Earth Elemental to an interesting position. I don't mind it if the Earth Elemental takes a pounding. Druid, I'm sorry, I'm not right now. I'm just like kind of speaking. Probably also I won't read the chat for the first round because I'm so stressed out about this. But positioning my creatures in such a way that I draw as much attention away from Wyll as possible, because the first round is going to be critical. My plan is, and I will go over this in a moment. My plan is to, I do very limited pre-buffing actually, because I'm not going to buff mirror images, and I'm not going to use my spell slots. As you can see, I don't have any short rests, and this is on purpose available to me. So I spent basically all of my resources. And now I have my 2 spell slots, and obviously I have my items with stuff that I can do. Right. Where was I? Yeah, so the plan is that, so in the first turn I'm going to do some pre-buffing, I'm going to do some things. And then, like, my plan is to summon a Campion, use my first turn with haste. I'm going to pre-buff haste, and I'm not going to cast Firewall, just so everybody knows. We don't have to talk about the Firewall. We don't have to discuss this. So I'm going to pre-buff the haste, and then I'm going to summon the Campion by Myrkul, because then he will not be able to do his where he sucks people in, because I don't want unnecessary saving throws in the early stages of the fight. So I'm going to summon the Campion, which is still ready on the Infernal Rapier here, and the purpose of the campion is to help me stabilize the encounter. So once I go forward and I summon the campion, and I'm going to attack the necromites up here, and with my superior firepower, I hope there's a good chance that I can kill 3 of these in the first round. So 3 of these down, and then a campion down. This is like the hope, like what I hope will happen, and we can do the math. It's definitely not unrealistic, but probably I'll only kill 2. Anywho, so that's it for Wyll, and then the campion will be down. And once the campion is down, and I see what is the turn order, like, right? Because probably Myrkul and the Mind Flayer is going to be second and third. And then once I see where we are, I'm going to kind of determine what do I want to do with my Earth Elemental. Because either, and this is something I haven't quite figured out, I'm probably not going to free Dame Aelin. She has 43 hit points, by the way, even though she was dead at the top of the tower earlier. She spawns with 43 HP. I don't know if this is like always how this is, but has been true, I think, 2 times for me or something. It's very weird. And so the Earth Elemental needs to either go half HP, is that it? It's half HP, yes, okay. Yeah. Okay, got it. So either like in the first round, right? So depending on things, because maybe also I don't know we'll see with the turn order. But the Earth Elemental, what I want is I want to draw the Mind Flayer from his position to somewhere down here. And then I want my Earth Elemental, which I hope will go after the Mind Flayer in. And I want to attack him using its basic attack, because that can prone. And if I can prone the Mind Flayer, I believe that I have a pretty decent chance of actually killing it turn 2. And the second that we are in turn 2, because then the campion will get a beating, or the Earth Elemental will get a beating by Myrkul, who deals a shit ton of damage in the first round or 2, because I'm going to pacify Myrkul. So if this works the way it's supposed to, it will make sense to you guys. And then when the Mind Flayer is dead, then obviously that is the same turn that I will free Aelin. This is hopefully something I hope I don't fuck up, because if I fuck that part up by not forgetting about the dog or something else, I'll kind of have to review everything every round, like several times, because otherwise my brain doesn't compute very well with things that's not like automatic. As long as it's automatic, I know exactly what to do. It's easy for me. But the second that is like slightly uncharted territory in terms of automation, I fuck up. So that's why everything always is a shit show when I do these things. But so I'm going to review it every turn, and then the second that she's free, and I have my full turn, I'm going to go bananas on Myrkul, and probably also switch a weapon to the Blood of Lathander. I need to switch to this weapon, and this is something I need to remember to do once, because the campion is, I expect the campion to take 1 or 2 hits from Myrkul, and then I kind of expect it to be over. Myrkul is not super dangerous as long as he's not allowed to feed on his necromites, and as long as he is, you have all your buffs, obviously, right? Then he's not that dangerous, actually. But obviously, the sickle or the slashing attack he does is very dangerous, right? So you need some kind of you need to either pacify him, or you need some kind of solution for that. And obviously, having elementals is not an instantaneous solution, because the elementals will die. I think he does, like, I don't know if it's like if it's on a critical hit, it's like, I don't know, 40 or 50 damage or something. So he does a lot of damage. But there are 2 things that's going to help me out. One is the randomness of the Blood of Lathander. Every turn he needs to do a saving throw against the Lathander Light. And I'm not quite sure what that saving throw is. Maybe it says on the... it does not say. It does not say. But you can, we can check that. But what I know from previous attempts is that it works. So sometimes it blinds him, and then obviously he can't hit anything, because, and other times it doesn't work, and then he can hit stuff, maybe, right? And then also there's the thing about the angle, like, I don't know if it's like 60 degrees or how big the swing is, but so it's very important for me to kind of move my my summons around so they don't, like, kind of, we don't want to stand on top of each other, preferably, because everybody needs to make everybody gets an attack roll if they're in that cone. Okay, so very quickly, let me go over my gear setup, because I did change it a bit, and I also changed the spec that I did. And maybe this is interesting for some of you, maybe it's not, but anywho. So, and I also discovered something that was really bugging me, because I think it was, I don't know if it was Celcera or somebody else who came online and commented on, I think it was somebody else, and I appreciate all of the comments, obviously, but it was something about how when you... I'm a fiend warlock, right? That's Wyll's basic background, or kind of that's his level 1 choice, which I didn't change. So the fiend warlock has an extreme, in principle, an extremely strong passive ability, Dark One's Blessing. So the Dark One's Blessing gives you temporary hit points, and this is like, this is not working. This is bugged, by the way, which I'll explain in a moment, which is a very critical point, because that means I will not attempt to get this, because it does not work. Well, it does work, but it's being overridden. So when I kill something, I get an amount of temporary hit points, including my charisma modifier. And probably it's a 1 hit point per level, and plus my charisma modifier. That would make sense with the 17, because my modifier is +7 with charisma, and I have my level 10. So I'm guessing that, I think that's the point. That's the amount you get. But the problem is, this temporary hit points will get overridden by this little baby. So the potent ropes actually gives you an amount of hit points every time Wyll gets his turn, equal to his charisma modifier. So, in principle, I can kill something, anything. It does not matter if it's killed by Color of the Week or anything else. I read about this, so it doesn't matter. But the problem is that the second that Wyll gets his turn, his temporary hit points will get reduced by whatever number they were currently at, down to 7 from the potent ropes. So basically the Dark One Blessing does not work with the potent ropes currently, and I'm not sure if Larian is fixing this, but it does not work. So that's one thing that I just quickly wanted to say, because there was somebody nice enough to talk about that last time. But it has nothing to do with Call of the Week. It has to do with the potent ropes being bugged. I cannot avoid the potent ropes. Those are like the baseline foundation of the whole build. So obviously I added the dual hand crossbows, which are now an opportunity for me, because I decided to play as a Pact of the Tome, which I don't think we can see anywhere. My last run was a Pact of the Blade, which has other advantages, that you can pact bind a weapon, and then that weapon you can use the skills and abilities of that weapon. I went in and I did a little bit of research on, let me see if I can find it, on the Knife of the Undermountain King. The Knife of the Undermountain King is like, I don't know, best in slot. It's extremely good. However, none of the abilities on the blade seems to work without the pact bind. So without being able to pact bind this, I'm not going to get any of the advantages of the weapon, which means it's worthless. So that's kind of that. We moved that out of the picture. But what I do get with the Pact of the Tome, which you can choose on level 3, is I don't get the extra melee attack either, but I don't care. What I do get instead is I get a couple of spells, among which is haste, which is like a long rest resource that I can use once, obviously, and it does not take up a spell slot. And that means that the Darkfire shortbow that I would previously use for this is no longer needed. I can, because I have my 1 haste, I can, yeah. So I do have an extra haste if I want to, but hopefully that does not happen. It also means that I get to use the Nair Messer in the offhand, and as we've talked a lot about, the offhand hand crossbow is absolutely bonkers. So what I found out of, which is another thing that I changed, like, and then I'll quickly go over the rest of the gear, is that this works particularly well with this little bad boy. So I found out from testing that the diadem of Arcane Synergy with its Arcane Synergy bonuses provides weapon attack damage increase from my spellcasting modifier. And so even though that I'm not proficient with a hand crossbow, which means that I cannot add my proficiency modifier, I still, once the Arcane Synergy kicks in, which it will after turn 1, and it will be there for the entire fight if everything goes as planned, which means that my offhand crossbow will get a bonus damage of +7. +7 bonus damage, and I even think it's force damage. Which means that my offhand attack will deal, like, it will kill a necromite in one shot if I'm lucky. So that's huge. That means that with the haste and everything running, I can kill 7 necromites per turn. If I'm, yeah, like on average slightly less, but still. So that is the big difference that I made, and I chose to not go with the Fistbreaker helm because it's not that good. It gives you a bonus to spell save DC, which is arguably decent, but the problem, as everybody knows, is it's very tricky to cast any kind of control spell in this game, unless you, unless you have that. I think it's the Arcane Acuity helm, which is a light helm. I can't even use that because then I lose my mage armor. So, like, long story short, the Fistbreaker helm is not that good. It gives initiative roll, which is not bad, but like, it's just not fantastic. And the Diadem of Arcane Synergy with the Arcane Synergy will kick ass if I'm not completely fucked, right? So that is the big difference. Other than that, the good old Cloak of Protection to help with the saving throws, the Ring of Protection to help with the saving throws. So yeah, and the rest, and then I'm going to equip the Coruscation Ring, which is going to be the cornerstone of the fight for me. The Coruscation Ring will allow me to inflict radiating orbs once I equip the Blood of Lathander, which is currently enchanted with light. Somebody told me that the Blood of Lathander on its own will not illuminate in the way that the Coruscation Ring requires, so I need an extra light source, which I enchanted with the ring from the Arcane Tower. Anywho, so that will be equipped in this slot when I fight, and then I am using both the Amulet of Misty Step as well as the Disintegrating Nightwalkers for double Misty Step, which with the haste buff running, I can actually equip other items in case I need to do that, as long as the haste is running, obviously. And already now I expect you guys to kind of get my drift here. I don't expect the fight to last more than 10 turns. So let's just quickly see. Yeah, then I am using the Gloves of Dexterity, which is just absolutely best in slot with the +1 attack. The Potent Robes for the extra charisma modifier to cantrips. And then I'm using the Sentinel Shield because I need to be sure that I get the initiative. I need the initiative. That's absolutely critical. All right. Okay. So I had one concern with this. Obviously, I have not used the clinging, the armor of clinging shadows buff, right? Everybody probably knows that you can equip. I'm so scared of clicking anything right now. Here it is, right? The Shade Clinger armor. So everybody knows that you can equip this in the shadows, and then you can kind of unequip it. Then you unequip it in the shadows, and then you move out into. And I don't know if this is a bug, but like I could use this or I could not use this, and I chose not to use it, which means that I purchased the advantage on the saving throws for maintaining concentration at a very high price. I purchased the Warcaster feat, and I simply did this because I didn't feel good about using the Shakeling armor. So I actually purchased this feat, and it is very expensive, because what I could have done without the Warcaster feat is I could have chosen dual wielder feat, for example, which would be stronger, arguably. Yes, you get one less armor, but I would then be able to have my Cambion as well as Blood of Lathander from the start, and I didn't need to spend to blah blah blah. But I chose to go with this because, like, I had to make a choice, right? Do I want to use the Slate Clinger armor or not? And I chose not to. So this is the reason for this feat, and the other feat obviously is my Charisma, which is buffed to currently 24, but that's with the +5 buff from Dark Lady's Grace. And then I have all of the other buffs available: the Night Singer favor from the altar in the Shah thingy, and the Selune buff from this the Isabel buff following the defense of the last light. And then I've chosen slashing resistance, and slashing resistance comes from the fiendish resilience of ability that you get at level 10 as a fiend warlock, right? This is also a fiend specific skill, which I could choose to put either in slashing damage, or I could choose to put this in radiant damage, because Myrkul does both. And I've debated a lot, and like, I don't know. I mean, there is the amulet of the unworthy from the Minotaurs in the Underdark, which does roughly the same thing, but the second that I need to switch items around is when I lose momentum in the fight. So I want to keep that to an absolute minimum, basically only with the Cambion that I intend to have Myrkul tank for the first 1 or 2 turns. The major problem with this strategy, and this is kind of, and I want to make this abundantly clear, because in a moment when this fails, somebody's going to say, obviously it fails, right? But statistically, it has a very low chance of failing. So, and I'm saying this, and obviously it's going to fail, but keeping concentration when Myrkul does his Fear Ray, when anybody attacks Wyll, keeping concentration is going to be statistically easy. The odds of me failing a concentration throw on spells is going to be at a very, very low percentage, way below 1%. I didn't do all of the math, but let me just roughly sketch it out here. So when you look at the Constitution, obviously I don't have proficiency because I'm a warlock in Constitution. But when you look at this, it says +8, but that is because of the bliss spores being averaged to 3. So I'm getting +3 from Constitution because I from the beginning I decided to go with a strategy where I wanted to go for the gloves of dexterity to get that extra modifier to Constitution for this for this exact reason. So I have a +3 Constitution modifier, +1 from Cloak of Protection, +1 from Ring of Protection. And then the bliss spores are going to roll 1 to 6 every time I am attacked. So and the difficulty class for maintaining concentration whenever I'm attacked in this fight is DC 10. And that means that I need to roll, and I get advantage obviously. So I need to roll in the worst case scenario if Bliss Spores decides to roll a 1, it's a +6, then I need to roll 2 3s on my 2 dice. I mean 1 through 3, but I need to roll 2 dice that is between 1, 2, and 3. And if that happens, 2 dice, and the Bliss Spores rolls minimum, and I roll a 3, I lose concentration. Those are the odds. So with the average Bliss Spores, I need to roll a double 1 in order to lose my concentration. Obviously it can happen. Of course it can happen. But it is statistically unrealistic. If this happens early on in the fight that I lose my concentration, that is potentially very, very bad. Could be very bad. Because that involves well, okay, I'm going to start in a moment, right? And do my pre-buffs and go, and then I'll take a break in case that I feel that I need to debate something with myself or whatever. But like with the Myrkul fight, what is absolutely critical is that I spend the first 2 turns as effectively as possible. I need to get rid of the necromites because they will attack before Myrkul does his Myrkul call where he calls in the necromites. They will all just attack anybody. So that's the problem. You need to get Myrkul, I think it's below 300 hit points or something, and then he'll do his Myrkul call, and then the necromites will start dashing towards his location to heal him. And when that happens, the control of the encounter becomes a whole different ballgame, because then most of the time you know what the necromites are going to do. They're not going to shoot Wyll all the time and interact with his spell concentration. They are going to be running to Myrkul, and that's going to be key in this fight. So when I engage the fight in a moment, I'm going to go and attack the necromites already there, and hopefully kill a lot of them so that the situation becomes more easy to handle. All right, I think I've talked enough. So let's see, is there anything I need to kind of... There's nothing I need to do. All right. Okay. So the order of this, since, and I talked to Druid about this, is that the dog is currently in this position. And obviously I do not want Myrkul to pull the dog into the abyss. So I need to be very careful in the first couple of turns that I remember that I need to move the dog. But it is the plan that I win the initiative, and thus there will be something on the platform dealing with Myrkul. Right. Okay. So jump. Let me just quickly check my list here. Jump, and then right. So I'm just going to cast my jump spell here. Then I'm going to pause. And the jump is what? It's not concentration, so it will stay even if I unequip the ring, which I will. Jump is still there, and I changed ring. So now the last thing I need to do is to cast Bless and switch my weapon to the the Infernal Rapier and cast Haste afterwards. And this needs to happen in succession because time will be ticking on the Bless, and the Bless is because of the Mistral Bless. applied from the staff is very, very strong in this particular situation. So let me just see if I can't do this in a good way. Let me just check, what do I need to do? Right. Casting Bless. Casting Haste.
Perhaps you hope to learn your place in history.
Just failed one bit.
Erased from it. But he did not.
Yeah, failed more than one bit, huh?
I will kill you now. And then I will raise
Oh
you.
yeah, I failed. But I have I can add this one. This is not a concentration ability. Right. And now the fight begins. I have my 2 actions, which is very, very important. I failed one very important thing, and that was I forgot to equip the Infernal Rapier. But before I do anything else, I'm just going to get my bearings here. I have the Might Flayer still has turned before Aelin, and let me just quickly check I have 8 turns on my haste and 8 turn on my blessing. That's going to be kind of the baseline for how the time frame that I have for dealing with this fight. Let me just quickly see. So I actually feel like I have 2 options right now. I feel like I have the option of, I wonder if the skeletal invoker here, if this will actually put my creatures into combat, or if it is going to be the proximity to the boss that's going to do that. Also, I quickly want to check in with Scratch. He's still out of combat. And the skeleton, probably the skeleton will be, I will move that guy into the fight slightly later. Maybe if I move this guy down here, then I can blink him up on the platform. Because I'm actually thinking that maybe, like, I don't want to... So probably us and the skeleton can deal with the first invoker down here. That's one of the 4 invokers that is going to spawn. Yeah, it's already crouched, so he has advantage on. Oh, yeah, he will also always automatically heal that invoker. So, but attacking with us will probably put the rest of the coterie into the battle. So what I'm considering right now, and I'm going to take my sweet time with this because I want this to succeed. So I could equip, like I also have, let me just check. I have a bonus action here where I can, I probably want to hold off on the bonus action because the bonus action is going to deal extra damage if I right. Okay, so I just made up my mind. I'm going to put my Earth Elemental on the platform, or at least I'm going to see if I can get my Earth Elemental on the platform, because if I am to switch my Infernal Rapier in, and summon the Cambion from that onto the platform, that is going to take 1 full turn. And so that will take up all of Wyll's actions. I'm not sure that is a very good idea at this juncture, because I do want to kind of eradicate some of these guys. So that is not going to happen. So I'm going to try and see if I can get my Earth Elemental up here. This is a little bit scary. Probably if I do this, the action to go in and jump will be executed. I think this is the play. Wish me luck. Okay, so Myrkul has something to deal with for the moment. Maybe the Earth Elemental will be thrown down, but then at least Myrkul will not do his AoE pull. All right. So that means that I need to think about this situation, which I am going to handle like this. Looks like I got all of them. So I think, like, I do need to spend the turn kind of moving things a little bit into position. So I do feel like I might as well kill as many skeletal invokers as I possibly can. So if I jump to this, question is, can I hit? Skeletal invoker down here. If I don't know if I can actually think I'll just have to kind of accept that I can't get like everything I wish for. So I'm going to jump here, and then I'm going to blow this guy to smithereens. Probably double hit him. Can I hit this? No, can't. So I'm going to do this just to be sure. And then I get my Arcane Synergy as well for 2 turns, which could be useful. So now the situation is not... It did what? I don't know what you mean, Ginger. I have both of the actions still on the Earth Elemental, but it's like the turn order is different. Okay, so I still need to consider the Cambion. Like, I'm not fully sure that I need it, but we'll see. Right. So now I am probably going to, if I attack with this guy, he's in hiding. So if I attack with the skeleton first, okay, it doesn't even put him in combat. Say what? I don't care. This is it's in the game. Finally something is working to my advantage. If I can get the Mind Flayer to go and kill this poor skeleton, would be a dream come true. But if I can't do that, then if I can get the illithid devourers to run for the skeleton, that would also make me happy. Maybe I can even... Oh, they're very far that way right now, so probably that's a low chance. I'm not doing that. Let's shoot here. 3 damage. Not impressive. And I'm going to stay out of the skeletal invoker explosion range. So ending my turn here. And let's see if I can't bring the brain a little closer. Can I shoot this thing? Nope. Cannot shoot inanimate objects. So, question is, can I attack it? Time will tell. Probably not. Probably the stealth will break. So maybe this is a bad idea. Maybe I want to do something else with it. Maybe I want to, because I want like as many creatures as possible to do things for me in the early game. It joins the battle, and it is just before the Mind Flayer, which is a little bit unsatisfying. Okay, so I'm going to go pee, and then I'm going to end my turn, and then we'll see what happens. Probably Myrkul is not going to do anything other. He might shoot me, right? And I might get my concentration broken. That's all in the game. So I'm just going to go pee. I'll be back in 1 minute. Okay, so I'm going to end my turn. And he throws down for a very high amount of damage on the Earth Elemental. Slashing damage, necrotic damage, and the radiant damage, right? And right, there we go. What happened? So he chose, yeah, and this is what I've been observing with the Mind Flayer, and I forgot about this right now. So, but hopefully this will not be critical in any way. But if the Mind Flayer has an option to attack 2 targets, for those of you guys who've been running the Nautiloid 24/7. You maybe notice that if you pull like the dogs in particular in the commander room up towards the control panel, if you move it close enough to the commander, the Mind Flayer will reposition itself and Mind Blast both of the targets. So it seems to be a preference that the Mind Flayer likes to do that. I'm just going to save the game just to avoid a random crash, right? Because those things happen, as we know. So that happened, and so my elemental is now stunned, which means there's going to be nothing on the platform. So that's a situation I need to think about. And also, probably the Mind Flayer down here is going to be a little bit of a hassle to deal with. But what I need to do now is go and rescue Aelin, because now the illithid devourers have moved away, which means that nobody's watching. Yes, thank you, Ginger. So nobody's watching. Probably I need to do. I'm going to be in a bit of a, not a big problem next turn, but I am going to kind of lack a little bit for actions. I might need to use perhaps Scratch is going to be able to take. I think Scratch is going to be able to take one for the team. I think he is. I think Scratch is going to be a good boy. I think he's going to be very, very, very good boy. Okay. Okay, I think I've covered everything. I don't think there's anything missing now. Oh, so the frightened disappears. Do I get my movement as well? I do get my movement, so I can even. I got my movement from attacking. That was a little bit odd. But do I want to move it up now? probably I do. I don't want to take any chances, like, really. So, this is going to be a good position. Yeah. Alright, so now we're back to turn 2. Round 2. So, right now I have a lot of stuff that I can do. And I do need to kill the Mind Flayer. And there are several reasons for that. The Mind Flayer obviously is very, very dangerous and also kind of a problem. So I feel like with the action economy, let me just quickly check, 7 turns on the Mistra and the Haste. I feel that I want to kill the Mind Flayer. And so I am going to attempt just that. And I have my Arcane Synergy, meaning that I can actually attack with a lot of damage here. So I think I'm going to... No, I need to... Yeah, I'm going to shoot first. Okay, 15 damage. And then I need to do a full round of blasting. And I missed. This is interesting. Why do I produce radiant orbs? Why do I do this? What in the world is triggering radiant orbs? It's not that big of a problem that I'm producing radiant orbs, but I'm super annoyed that I don't know. Is he though? Is he standing in? He's not standing in light. Is there any light source here? I'm clicking shift. Full sun. No, but okay. Okay, so this is not necessarily a problem, but like I'm really confused why this happens. So I'm going to shoot the Mind Flayer now, and I don't want to shoot Myrkul unless I know for sure that I have a light source up. So this probably I'm going to just destroy some of these Invulkers, because I do think I have one turn to play around. I need probably 2 shots to be sure, and then 1 shot here. Right. So now the Mind Flayer is dead. The Earth Elemental is kind of wounded, but I have 2 spell slots. I can resummon the Earth Elemental. The skeleton is like probably going to die, and stuff will happen. End turn. Okay. Okay, now is... Yeah, she was lucky. Like, how much damage did she do? 15 plus 2 slap. But I think she only has a limited amount of Quick saving again in case the game crashes. Sorry for this. 15 radiant damage, 6 radiant damage. Well, that does, I mean, that does matter, right? Everything counts. So at this point, this is why this is really annoying to me with the illumination. It's not irrelevant, because if I want to be sure, like at this point, I have more than one option. Summoning the Campion is no longer interesting to me. The Campion is a shitty summon, so I don't want to summon it at this point, because at this point, I mean, I still have, like, now Dame Aelin is going to take one hit at least and stuff. But what I need to do in order for this to be a success is, because currently Myrkul is still not on below his threshold, so like the necromites will still spawn and harass me. So I need to very, very, very quickly start to stack radiating orbs on him. I have 6 turns left on my haste. So probably what I want to do here is I want to switch to the Blood of Lathander, which has the light source on it, and get down there. So click. Is it the Mystra blessing that does this? Is it the bless? It's not the Mystra bless. What do you want? Okay. It's not. It's the wearer who's illuminated. It's me. It's not Myrkul. Are you sure about this? Yeah. Okay. That's very interesting. Anywho, so now we're balling. Now we're looking at the concentration check for the saving throw for maintaining concentration. I'm rolling. It's a difficulty class 10, and I'm rolling. The first character that attacks Myrkul every turn gets retaliation. So that's me. I'm rolling a 13. That's with advantage, with a +1 from the ring and the cape, and +6 from the bliss balls. So basically, like, I rolled a 13, right? So 24. So that's far from problematic, right? So okay, so this is very interesting. So probably I'm going to. Well, the thing is though, what will happen here is that these necromites, in the following turn, and they get turn after the Earth Elemental, but the following turn, these necromites will get the call of Myrkul, and they're going to run to him. So I need to make sure that they don't run to him in this turn. So even though it's very tempting to just spread more radiating orbs on Myrkul, which I might do, I'm also thinking that perhaps I can't jump because I'm immobile. But what I can do, let me just quickly check. What I can do is that I can Misty Step down there, which I think I am going to do. So I think I am going to Misty Step. Let me just quickly check. Where is the worst position? I don't want to go to where Aelin is. That makes no sense. It's also, this is where us is, and also like probably I'm going to attack him. Can I shoot any of these? Would have been practical if I could just kill one. Can. Okay. Right, so that's practical. So at this point we have one necromite up, which is on this side, and I don't want to go to Aelin's position just now because I don't know what Myrkul is going to do. However, I do want to kind of gets a little bit more value. Maybe attempt to kill one of these. Either that or Misty Step to another location. 8 radiating orbs. That should be a good situation. Probably I'm going to. I really wanted to equip Blood of Lathander for this. I mean, just having the blind added on top of everything is great. Okay, let me just shoot one of the small guys here and see what happens. Boom. That works. Okay, ending turn. Oh, the skeleton is up. 1 hit point left. Hero skeleton, for sure. Come on. Damn it. Okay, ending turn. Okay. Still hits. He still hits. Skeletons out. Alright. Okay, so let's see. And then Aelin does things. Nothing of value. And then the Earth Elementalists do. I mean, we do still have us, which can take a hit from Myrkul, maybe, or at least Aelin can. So either Aelin or Myrkul will take this hit. And probably, like, is this guy frightened? He's not frightened. So then he can also move afterwards, I'm assuming. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to kind of try to optimize. Maybe. Has he done his call yet? He has not done his call yet, but I assume that he will next turn. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump here and probably sacrifice this guy a little bit by attacking the Necromite. With a multi-attack, I guess. And he's not dead. That is unfortunate. So that means I need to take a little bit of heat from the Involcus. I think this is within, like, it is, because it has to be kind of, yeah, I'm ending the turn. Alright, so I'm still frightened, or I'm still frightened. Okay. So at this point, these guys, I don't know if they can. How many times do turns? We have 5 turns left on the thing. So Myrkul has turn afterwards, which means I want to stack the radiating orbs as much as possible. Even if it means that. So at this point, I kind of feel like 9. I need to get down there, but do I need to get down there this turn? Let's go. It's on. Come on.
One life to my life. Sustain me, slaves.
And Dame Aelin is doing the work, which we don't mind. Alright, so now the Earth Elemental, it's not in the best of shapes, but it still needs to do a little bit more work. It cannot, it doesn't seem to... So the question is, let's just quickly check what... Okay, this Necromite is not dangerous. So now the Myrkul call is on. The Necromites are going to run to his location, which means that this is good for us, because then we can kind of control a little bit what they do. They shouldn't run around and shoot that much, which is an advantage. The Earth Elemental is not in a very, very strong position right now. It's like all of my summons are dead, so... And it cannot move, but it also needs to do some kind of work this turn. This does not work. Cannot attack. Nope. So I can go here and destroy this in Volkia, or because I cannot go, I could go to this location and block this ethereal mesh, meaning that maybe these guys cannot run and do their thing. Probably I need to see if I can't block that off. Let's I think this is the right move at this point. Let's try. It doesn't do anything, Druid. It does not work on the eggs. So you cannot seismic the eggs. Okay. So they go for the long route, and I do not want to counterspell this. If the elemental dies, it dies. Alright. So there's a bunch of necromites everywhere at this point. I can relatively freely move around the platform to do stuff. Obviously, like the Earth Elemental could be Fearing Raid again, which if that happens, then I guess that is not that big of a deal at this point. Probably I will need to resummon it next turn, spend a turn on that. But I do need to reduce the amount of necromites. That is for sure. We have 6 radiating orbs on Myrkul, which is strong. I should with 24 AC. How do I have so much AC? That's because I have haste. Yeah. So I should be able to kind of withstand. I mean, unless of course he rolls a 20, which is, we can't protect ourselves against that. And I don't think I have enough actions to... Do I want to spend a turn to switch weapons? Yeah. Let me just quickly see how much damage I can do to the creatures currently, and we still have Dame Aelin. She's still there. She's still there, and she might still take a hit for us. So what about the magic missiles? Is this the time for the magic missiles? No, it's a bad action compared to... I could go over here and shoot these guys. Let me just see. Okay, one down here needs to die. One over here needs to die. One over here probably needs to die. Needs to die. Definitely needs to die. Okay, so I think I need to find a location where I can... But does that mean I need to go down here in order to kill this guy? That is the question. I don't want to trigger the Finger of Death and the healing if I can. So maybe taking the attack of opportunity here from Myrkul with 6 radiating orbs, that's -6 to attack. What if I use my repulsor? The repulsor does not seem to go below here. Doesn't seem to affect really. So if I run over here and I shoot these two guys, I don't get a third shot. Well, the third shot might be able to hit this one, right? Something along those lines, and then I can do some trickery trick thingy. Okay, I'm going to attempt this. I'm going to attempt this.
2 steps at a time.
Still need more. This is because his targeting is how much it's just not possible to get a hit, I guess. Did I manage to kill them though? Yes, I did manage to kill them. So there's one guy left. This is not enough. There are two over here that can. So like if I miss the step over here. Did I just miss 3 shots? I just missed. How many shots did I miss? Critical one. Anywho. Can I block off this? Probably not, right? Nothing to do. At least this guy has a turn, but I think he needs to spend that killing. he's in a bit of a bad position here. So either of these guys are actually at this point going to go and heal Myrkul, and I can't do anything about that. I don't want both of them to heal Myrkul, and at this point I feel that this guy might be impossible to stop. Although I could go and hit this guy. This is my best chance. So he's prone. And then teleport to this location, I guess. Will this block? I wonder if this will... No, I need to go over here, I think. And then chips fall as they may. Okay, that was pretty lucky. Anyway. Okay, so now I am in a situation where I have 4 turns left on my... Oh, 3 turns left on my haste. So I need to do some damage. But I also need to control the necromite. So probably I need to go here. Shoot. Oh, that was a bad position. I don't want to... Let me just check where all the necromites are. There's one here. There's 1, 2, 3. And I need to resummon my Earth Elemental as well. Question is, when does it have turn? Can it do anything on its turn? Yes, it can. Okay. So this is an option. Do I have synergy up? I do. So I'm shooting this guy. It worked. This, and Myrkul. And extra turn, which is going to be shoot, shoot, shoot. So I'm going to attack this necromite, and it seems like I'm getting a little bit bang for my buck here with this Earth Elemental, so I don't feel like spending a turn saving the game. Resummoning it just now because the attack action on the attack action on my... Oh, there is actually there's a bad guy right here, which I did not see. That is very, very, very critical detail. Let me just see one guy here. Necromite up here, not dangerous. And then we have Involcure up here. We have Involcure down here. We have Involcure all the way over here, which is kind of annoying. But right now, I think this could be okay. He doesn't even have armor of Agathis. So if I'm really lucky, he kills. I need to pee. 1 sec. I'll be right back. Yeah, okay. Let's see. At this point, I'm just going to turn on Repelling Blast again. So, this guy should not be able to run all the way up and heal him. I don't think so. It seems like I can even shoot him with an offhand attack even. But I don't think that is going to be possible. I'm not entirely sure, but I think this is the only guy. So like, right now I feel like what I need to do is just shoot him. And shoot him again. There was a little bit of I missed some shots there. I could stage fright him. Maybe it's a weak bonus action at this point. I could be really cheeky and cast Survival Instincts on the Earth Elemental. That would be cheeky. I feel like that would be cheeky because I know it's going to land, and I know that it will create value because I know that the Earth Elemental will probably survive. And also another thing that seems to be a little bit weird is the way that survival. I'm just going to quick save here. Survival Instinct seems to be interacting with Myrkul's anti-healing aura in a weird way. It seems that the healing on the Survival Instincts work, but I'm not entirely sure. So if I do choose to do this, like I could also just shoot this in Vulture. That's going to hit. And also my Earth Elemental is actually going to get a turn to go over there, right? And Dame Aelin is still there, ready to take a hit. And I can take a hit even, right? So probably, like, I mean, I can take a hit. Famous last words. Shooting. And, yeah, that is it, I guess. Okay, Myrkul, do your worst. Missing. And shooting on Aelin. And he got her. He got her. And so at this point, like, yeah, the 66 hit points means that, like, in principle, it should be, I should be okay, depending on how bad my luck is in a moment. But I am going to go over here, use the Seismic Strike. And the reason I use the Seismic Strike is because I want to remove the Armor of Agathis without getting the cold damage, because that is going to effectively allow me an attack of opportunity in a moment. Without killing the elemental. Alright. So I guess, like, yeah, I guess this is kind of, yeah, there is that slim chance that he's going to attack me with his retribution attack, and obviously put me out of commission with his with getting lethargic. But this is the last turn, so like, either, and this may sound a little bit weird, but statistically, this is also going to hit him, so that's not going to make a difference. I'm going to shoot him, wish me luck. Okay. And then blast.
Impossible. Death cannot take me. I am its master.
Yep.
My
Aelin
lord,
was great.
hear me. Nothing I am forsaken.
If I was in a different situation where I was
You
unable
have
to defeat
no idea
Myrkul in that turn,
what you've
and I
done.
knew that my haste and everything was going to run out,
Isabel.
what I would have done was I would have spent a turn trying to kill off necromites and dangerous invulcus, and probably summoning an earth elemental to help me through the lethargic round. So, I mean, the game would not have been over by definition if I had not succeeded in this round. But yes, it would definitely be bad.
And body.
Or not perfect, at least. It was very weird with the radiating orbs from the arcane staff. I'm completely surprised. I hadn't imagined that, to be fair.
We pick our way.
And obviously the
toward
Blood
our
of
fates.
Lathander does help a little bit. I still recommend, if you have a character that like can afford
have
to
my
have that
sword.
in the main hand, I would always use
My
that.
fealty.
Just for that chance
what
to
you must.
blind.
And we fly this foul place.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, definitely. Wow, I'm so happy. I'm so happy this worked. Finally, I'm past this fucking boss. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my sweet God. Oh. Fucking hell. Oh, Jesus. I don't think I spent any of my spell slots. I spent 0 of my spell slots.
The body is cooling.
That's food for thought.
Energy
No scrolls, no
radiates from the
consumables, no
stone.
spell slots.
Remarkable. Truly.
Probably
And now
casting
the
the
picture
haste
comes together.
into turn
The
2 or something
absolute
is a
is
better
neither
choice.
god nor
Casting the
man.
haste this early is a
It is
little bit
the
of a
elder
gamble.
brain you saw.
Because
Held here
like
by
I could have
those
gone
three against
with
its
more
will.
turns and
The
then
crown it wears controls
less
it.
turns on the Mr.
And
Blessing.
these
But
stones
yeah,
control the crown.
probably was a bit of a gamble.
It has been dominated. To master an elder brain, to subdue it.
Oh, you're doing...
Our enemies
Okay,
are
you're doing Myrkul
formidable.
now, so I'm going to save the game. Meriden, if you plan on doing Myrkul, I'll probably lurk. Maybe Druid. Maybe that is the
A temporary
case.
reprieve.
Maybe that
the
is the
crown
case.
can do this to the What? Ketheric was a fod. I dare not imagine.
Right. Maybe that is the case. It's very hard for me to kind of figure out exactly what. The Mr. Blessing is very strong for the hit rating. So that is definitely something to consider. Spell attack rolls plus. That's pretty huge. That is pretty huge. And a goddamn ugly shield. Yeah, Meriden, oh, you're not ready. No, okay, fair enough. Because otherwise I would totally hop onto your stream. I'm probably doing the monks tomorrow or something. Right now I just I need to go to bed and stuff, so soonish at least. I'm not going to do the monks for sure now. All right.
One move ahead.
So how long did that take me? Like 1 hour? 1.5 hours? Yep. See you, Ginger. Thanks for watching as always. Pleasure having you. Gute Nacht, and so on. So like even like how would consumables in any shape or form help me out in this fight? Because a concentration spell still needs to be there. So if I do a firewall, that could also go out of like the spell slot pool. So having the firewall from a scroll wouldn't be an advantage. Also, it would be if I cast it on my warlock, that would be an upcast, so that would be better for the necromise, right? So in that regard, like spell scrolls wouldn't help me out all that much. I guess chain lightning scrolls probably would be strong. I feel like maybe haste chain, drinking haste potions might be strong as well, probably. Healing potions, I don't think they would help that much in this particular case, because like either you do him or you don't do him. I feel like, of course it can be really close, but if you end up in a situation where you need to health pot to stay alive, probably other things is going wrong for you as well. Or well, in my case, right? Because my health pool is not my damage. Yeah, so haste might be stronger for but the problem, like Druid, when you did Myrkul the other day, yesterday, you used the firewall strategy, which works. Granted, it definitely works, but it does have the downside that the damage is slightly unpredictable, and the damage on Myrkul feels unpredictable. It feels like he saves a lot of the times, take half damage. Sometimes you spend a turn dealing like 9 damage. So depending on your class, obviously firewall will be stronger or weaker. Wizards for sure needs, you need a different strategy with a wizard. Yeah, got it. Ray of Fire is absolutely shite, I feel like, for this. I don't really know, like I guess one strategy that kind of would work if you wouldn't mind using that would be maybe magic missile along with no, wait, because the magic missiles are being completely fucked by the magical plate, so that won't work. Is it possible to do some kind of strategy with the potent ropes and a cantrip and the cantrip necklace that increases damage? Casting firebolt, no, because that's an attack roll, and then that's intellect or intelligence, and you can